Since Mattel posted their updated version of this Eternia playset, there has been one action figure that has captured the imagination of MOTU fans everywhere. And when it's all said and done, he may become the most valuable of any MOTU Origins figure ever. That figure being Moaty, the Moat Monster. Mattel Creations crowdfund for a new Eternia playset has funded, and it's incredibly exciting to think that in a year's time or so, we will have a new Eternia playset to be a part of our MOTU Origins collection. And like most crowdfunded projects, this set has different tiers to try and entice more buyers. But something has happened with this set that I have not seen on a lot of other toy crowdfund projects, and that's having a figure that's a tier become a bit of a cult hero or cult phenomenon. And of course, the one that I'm talking about is the Eternia Moat Monster, or as we fans like to call him, Moaty the Moat Monster. He had humble beginnings in the original Eternia playset. I am fortunate enough to have a complete Eternia, and when you lift the drawbridge, you can see a sculpted version of the Moat Monster underneath that bridge. That entire moat area has a bunch of fun little sculpted details, a lot of the different classic iconic weapons from the Masters of the Universe toy line, as well as a dungeon grate with some arms kind of coming out of it and tentacles coming out of it. But the coolest sculpted thing in that moat is, of course, the Moat Monster. And I think it's really, really cool that in this new set, they actually made an articulated figure of that Moat Monster to go with this set. But given that this is a $550 play set that once you factor in taxes and shipping is pushing $700, going from just getting this thing funded at 5,000 backers to that 8,000 backer tier that would unlock that Moat Monster seemed like a pretty tough stretch that probably wouldn't be able to happen. And given Moaty's precarious position, a lot of people in the toy collecting fan community made a ton of fun memes about saving Moaty or just voting for Moaty for president. Really, it was just so much fun seeing all the different Moaty memes show up on my Patreon channel's Discord, during our live streams on Instagram, all over the place. I gotta say, the imagination of the toy collectors was wonderful in terms of all the great content that we got out of trying to ensure that we got a Moaty. But this crowdfund had some unique properties to it just in terms of its trajectory to getting backed. Looking at a fantastic chart from the wonderful Brian Brink, we can see that it had a great first day and then it just started to kind of tail off. But an approach that Mattel took with this set was having an early bird backer for a King Grayskull figure that you could only get if you funded this Eternia within the first 7 days. Now Hasbro does their early birds a little bit differently. As long as it hits a certain amount by a certain period of time, everybody gets the early bird figure. Some people don't like that, some people do, and the same is true for this King Grayskull early bird backer. Some people think it's a true early bird, so anybody that backs it early gets it, but some people are frustrated that really everybody should get the King Grayskull figure. But a byproduct of all of this is the fact that on the last day to get a King Grayskull, we saw another big jump in backers that pushed it right up to that 8,000 mark. And an unlock level that seemed a bit out of reach quickly got met, and we are getting a Moaty action figure. And since the Moaty's been unlocked, we've seen the backers kind of flatline, in part because you can no longer get the King Grayskull figure, and the one tier that had the most people excited of the Moaty figure has been unlocked. So now my question is, if it kind of stays around that 8,000 mark, the limited run of King Grayskull has already gotten people thinking this could be the shortest printed version of a MOTU Origins figure ever. And if it stays around that 8,000 mark, Moaty will also be one of the shortest printed MOTU Origins figures. And given the really passionate fan response to Moaty the Moat Monster, no offense to King Grayskull, I think Moaty could become one of the most expensive MOTU Origins figures on the secondary market, which is kind of crazy. Maybe Mattel can do kind of a repainted or a slightly different decoed version of Moaty for people that maybe don't want to drop $700 on an Eternia playset and allow more people to enjoy what looks to be a figure that has really captured the imagination of MOTU collectors. But let me know, what do you think about Moaty the Moat Monster? Do you think he's an essential character to have in the MOTU Origins line? Do you think he could become the most expensive MOTU Origins figure ever? Or do you think I'm crazy and really it was King Grayskull that drove it to that 8,000 backer mark? Let's have a conversation down in the comments. I backed the new Eternia playset on day one. I have an original Eternia, and once I get both, I plan to do a side-by-side comparison, a full deep dive review of the new Eternia playset while looking at the original Eternia playset. So make sure you hit the subscribe button and that bell icon to ensure you don't miss that video, as well as any other MOTU related videos that I cover on this channel. If you like this video, hit the like button, and until next time, hasta luego, and goodbye.